Right, so we obviously had no Imola Grand Prix due to the floods, and as you can see here, there is no flooding because this is the game. So today we are going to test out whether you can beat 0% AI in full wet conditions while on slicks. So in other words, we'll be taking part in the Lando Norris in Russia 2021 challenge. So here we are with our quality lap attempt. We're going to do a quality attempt now. The issue with this is it's a 5 lap race and you can't pick tires. Obviously with wet conditions you cannot start on slick tires, so we're going to have to build a gap at the start and then pit for the softs. So we're going to have 4 laps to do this, and of course we'll have to catch up to everyone and overtake them in the 4 laps around Imola. So Imola, not really a good overtaking track to begin with, let alone being on slicks in full wet conditions. Now, of course, 0% AI are horrendous when it comes to braking and cornering, so there's a chance we might catch them up. But just to see the presentation of the pace, we're going to do a quiet lap to see how far we're ahead of 0% AI while on the same tires per lap. Now, of course, it's probably similar enough to what Imola is like IRL. Anyway, so it may as well feel like driving around in slicks on wet conditions with the pictures we've seen throughout the week. Of course, it might have gone better, but the entire area is flooded, so we cannot have any races. So instead, let's just imagine what could happen here. But yeah, we're coming down to the end of our quiet lap as Lando Norris, as he is probably the only man who would consider driving in slicks in these conditions, especially if there was a win on the line. Even though everyone else is pitted and it's clear that it is not slick weather, he would still go out in slicks. But yeah, we're going to come to the line to finish our lap. So after the quali, we have a 10-second gap to the AI from our quali lap. So now we'll see what happens in the race. So now it's time for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, the 5 laps. We have to start on the wets because it doesn't let you change tires in a 5-lapper. But the AI, as usual, have a broken race starts despite being 0% AI, as we get bogged down by Verstappen to start going to go wheel to wheel with Leclerc. But this is when the AI showed themselves as Max Verstappen breaks about 500 meters before the corner, and we get a beautiful dive bomb on him to start the race. So, now the thing we need to do is open up as big of a gap as we can before we come to the pits, coming to the end of the lap, and before we actually have to come into the pits, we've opened up an 8-second gap. Another issue with this challenge being in Imola is probably the longest pit lane loss in the entire game. So that is going to be a major issue. But here we come onto the slicks. I see some dry patches in the air, so there might be a chance of a gain dry, but we are going to go out on the slicks. We're going to risk the slicks. We're going to do what George Russell did in Singapore last year and go on the slicks when it is nowhere near slicks. Just add some entertainment to the race, because why not? So when we exit the pit, we are going to be... How far are we going to be behind Yuki Tsunoda? We are going to be about 8 seconds behind Yuki Tsunoda. So we went from having an 8-second lead to being 8 seconds off the rest of the field. We got 4 laps to catch as many people as possible and see how far up the field we can move. Of course, now it's all about finding the grip. Of course, yeah, I do use full traction and most assists, but we go on the gravel there or Villeneuve, and still it is incredibly difficult to negotiate, especially toes here are very difficult traction zones. We almost lose the car. Now coming up the hill, we go onto the grass at a snap, and I didn't realize it for ages, so I walked onto the grass, but we've already gained about half a second, and that's just trying to figure out the grip. As we're going to go very wide off Peratilla, and now this is going to be where it's the funnest. Aqua Minerale. This corner is an absolute pain in the dry, so imagine doing those slicks on wet. It's not fun, to put it that way. But now as we come to the end of the lap, we're going to pull a Carlos Sainz here and go off into the gravel of the Ravazzas. But we've gained about 2 seconds on Tsunoda from the outlap alone. We're going to have to gain a lot more if we want to challenge for the win here. That challenge is probably out of the way, but we set a purple final sector, just showing how slow these cars are in these conditions. So come to the end of lap 3, our second lap on the slicks, and we get another 2 seconds on Yuki Tsunoda, which is not enough. We need to even challenge for the points of this race. Just can we overtake anyone? But one thing I've noticed, you'll notice this out if you look at the top left, how much time we lose on the straights. Like the AI in this game are overpowering the straights, which makes this challenge way more harder than it needed it to be. But yeah, as we come to the end of lap 4, once again we gain about 2 seconds on Yuki Tsunoda, which is not what we need, but it's the straights that are killing us. Like, if we probably should have ran a 0-0 setup, because in fact what we were doing, but actually ran a wet setup for Imola, which was very high downforce. I think I was 31-28 I ended up running. But we come now to the final lap, and we just have to see if we can make any overtakes. If the chance of winning podium points there out the window, it's a case of pride. Can we overtake Yuki Tsunoda at least? So we come to for the Tamburello chicane for the last time, approaching the Villeneuve chicane. This is the sector we will get Tsunoda if it's possible. We gain so much time in this sector because it's all corners with the 0% AI are absolutely horrible. I was gonna go send it into Toza. We totally didn't get damaged there, but once again the straight line speed of Tsunoda showing, but we're gonna send it through Piratel, absolute dive bomb. Who would consider doing that? Only us in this stupid challenge. But once again, straight line speed is showing, but again, breaking about 500 meters before he should at Aqua Minerale, which lets us complete the move on Yuki Tsunoda. Now we just have to look at Lance Stroll, see if we can get out of the bottom 2. It's unlikely because he's pulling so much time through this mini straight up to the Ravazzas. It's going to have to be a massive dive bomb if we're going to make it, which is not going to be possible. We get shaky between the Ravazzas, and we're just not going to get an exit to challenge Lance Stroll at all. So we're going to have to settle for a P19 here, unfortunately. But yeah, no matter what challenge we do, there is one guarantee in life, and that is Red Bull and Max Verstappen winning a race. And by some miracle, it's actually dried up behind, if you can see. It's magically dried up. What has happened? See, we were right going for the slicks, lads. Just need a couple more laps. Like, I don't get how it's dried up. And now it's raining again. What is this weather, lads? Thank God this game is almost done soon. But that has been the, I don't know what to call this challenge. The Lando Norris in Russia 2021 challenge, I guess. And we have failed miserably. So, yeah, that was fun. So yeah, like and subscribe to see me fail more challenges, I guess.